The boy who was the richest in school had no friends until the day he lost his wallet. Jason arrived at school every morning in a luxury black car. His sneakers were updated with new models every month, and even his lunchbox contained premium steaks. Every kid in school knew Jason was incredibly wealthy, yet no one wanted to sit near him. This was because Jason always bragged that his things were better, more expensive, and more superior to everyone else's. As a result, his seat in the cafeteria remained empty and lonely every single day. One day during lunch break, Jason discovered his wallet was missing. He ran around the school in a panic, searching everywhere, but he couldn't find it. Leah walked up to Jason and handed him the wallet. She told him she had found it next to the lockers. Out of habit, Jason quickly pulled out a thick stack of bills to offer as a reward, but Leah simply shook her head and walked back to her table. Jason realized then that he had spent his whole life trying to buy everything, even friendship, and he never actually knew how to be a true giver. The next day, Jason didn't arrive with his usual boasting. Instead, he brought a pair of new shoes to give to a classmate whose shoes were torn. Then, he walked over to Leah and sat down to have lunch with her. What would you do if your best friends from 50 different countries tried to combine all their lunchboxes into one giant pizza? Today is International Lunch Party Day. Jake from the USA, Kenji from Japan, Mateo from Mexico, and their gang of friends from around the world decided to go on a wild mission. They poured their national dishes onto a massive pizza dough. Hot dogs, sushi, spicy tacos, and Swiss cheese were all piled on. They shoved it into the oven all at once. Suddenly, the oven began to shake violently. Smoke and rainbow lights flashed out, and all the kids huddled together under the tables, bracing for an explosion. But as it turned out, the ingredients and spices from around the globe reacted together to form a ferocious giant pizza monster. It let out a roar that smelled like buttery cheese and started blasting everyone with hot tomato sauce. Instead of running away, the kids locked eyes with a silent understanding. The international food war had begun. Mateo hurled super spicy jalapenos at its eyes. Kenji brandished giant chopsticks, striking with kung fu precision. Jake used a pizza box as a shield and counter-attacked with barbecue sauce. Every nationality cooperated to coordinate the battle plan. In the end, the pizza monster was defeated, surrendered, and became the most delicious lunch in the school's history. Have you ever been to heaven? Max dozed off on the bus during a school field trip. When he opened his eyes, he found himself sitting on a soft, fluffy cloud. Right in front of him stood a sign that read, "Please take a queue number." He grabbed ticket number 4,000,003 and looked around. Heaven resembled a gigantic shopping mall, bustling with angels in business suits rushing about with clipboards. One of the angels spotted Max and looked completely shocked. The angel quickly grabbed his hand and rushed him across a rainbow bridge to a separate, exclusive zone. Inside that zone, about a dozen other kids were happily relaxing and playing board games. There was a long buffet table loaded with pizza and ice cream, and dogs of every imaginable breed were running around playfully. Max was having the time of his life, riding on the back of a giant golden retriever. But suddenly, another angel sprinted over, said something frantically. Instantly, Max was zapped back to the human world. He jolted awake on the bus, only to find the friend sitting next to him tapping his shoulder, telling him they had arrived at the museum. What is that thing in the mud puddle? Toby slipped past the iron swing set toward the back of the school during his lunch break. The ground was still wet and soggy from last night's rainstorm. He was heading toward the pine forest bordering the stream, a known restricted area. Toby loved to explore, but what he found today shocked him so much he was rooted to the spot. In the middle of a large mud wallow, a massive brown figure was emerging. It was completely covered in sticky mud, twigs, and pine needles. It stumbled straight toward him, accompanied by heavy wheezing breaths. Toby was about to turn and run for his life when the mud monster lunged. But the moment it got close, it froze and shook itself violently. Mud splattered everywhere, completely covering Toby's t-shirt. As the mud clumps fell away, bright golden fur and a red collar appeared. It was Barnaby, the principal's golden retriever who had run off and disappeared yesterday. Toby quickly grabbed the leash. Ultimately, he became the hero of the day, even if he did have to sit through his afternoon classes looking like a mud monster himself. Help! I've encountered a strange creature. Amidst a thick blanket of fog enveloping the outskirts of Pennsylvania, Bao was driving her beloved Jeep back from church after attending a memorial service for Phoebe. her best friend who had recently passed away tragically, simply due to tripping over a doormat and hitting her head on the floor. While driving past a desolate stretch flanked by pine forests, her headlights struck a strange, towering figure that stretched high into the sky. Its limbs were long and gaunt, resembling broken, bent branches. Its skin was pale and sent forth a putrid odor, like wet garbage. Bao slammed on the brakes with all her might as the figure bent its face to meet the light. It whispered in a raspy voice through a mouth ripped to its ears, asking her to order donuts and a latte for it, because nothing in the spirit world tastes good. Bao lost her wits, completely terrified, but upon closer inspection, its face looked very much like Phoebe. Bao opened the window and unleashed a torrent of cursing. Phoebe quickly apologized to her friend, saying she was very hungry. If it were you, would you go buy the donuts and latte?